K-I-L-L-E-M, and Cooter and I'll be by with rifles to take care of your infestation. Thank you, and now we carry on with the reading. My name is Gary Frank, coming over, obviously. So, I'm going to be reading a bit from my newest book that is, it's a few years old, but it's still fresh, so thumbs up for that. And I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's about two couples that go camping, because what could be more fun? And they're out there trying to solve marital issues, because where else would you go to solve marital issues than the woods? Alright. And so the bit is that they go to this cabin and they are having some issues because something is out there. Something was throwing pebbles at the cabin, and there's a very strong composty skunk smell out there. So at one point, the two husbands with rifles in hand, who are not marksmen, go out into the woods to see what this thing is that is out there. So it is chapter 5, Hunting High and Low. One thing I did was name all the chapter headings after songs. I'm very proud of that. When Rich and Kara arrived back at the cabin, Max stood outside with the two rifles. Here, he handed the Remington to Rich. We're going hunting. No, you're not. Allison stood behind him in the doorway. Allison and Max are married. Kara and Rich are married. What's going on? Rich asked, looking from Max to Allison. On the way back, someone followed us. I don't need no damn stalker ruining my camping trip, Max said. We're going to confront this guy and make sure he understands what's what. With guns? Kara asked. Are you crazy? Max glared at Kara. It's called a deterrent. Kara turned to Rich. Rich, you're not going with him, are you? At least leave the rifle here. You're afraid Rich is gonna shoot himself, huh? Kara's next words were cold and sharp. I'm afraid he's going to shoot you. Max opened his mouth, but then closed it. You want to go play cowboy? Kara said, that's fine. Just do it without the guns. Seriously, I don't want you shooting someone accidentally. You're just like your sister. Kara and Allison are sisters, and Max is married to Allison. It's a little complicated, but easy to follow. You're just like your sister, Max said, scrutinizing Kara. There's nothing to worry about. We'll be fine. And if we put a little fear into one of our neighbors so they leave us alone, all the better. The two women looked at Rich for a level-headed response to this obviously unhinged man. We'll go talk to him, Rich said. It'll be fine. Safety's on, right? I mean, safety's on the rifle. Of course, Mac checked the safety on his Nosler. All good. We'll be back. Rich went to kiss Kara, but she stepped back. Try not to get yourselves killed. Come on, Rich. Max headed into the forest. We'll have to protect ourselves, Max scowled at Rich. I'm serious, Rich. You know and Kara don't like I'm sorry, Rich. I know you and Kara don't like guns, but if this comes down to us and them, it's going to be us. Understand me? Clear. How do you even know who it is? For all we know, Vinny and Mona, who were the cabin next door, were out walking and spotted us. Maybe they were following you back to the cabins. He checked his phone at 11:15. If it was them, why didn't they say hello? I kept checking behind us, but neither of us saw anyone. That means whoever it was didn't want to be seen. Why do you think that is? Rich shrugged. I have no idea. Max led them on the Silver Trail until they came to the waterfall. They had come to a waterfall, and behind the waterfall is like a small little hut thing, and there are animal bones around it. Bones still lay scattered by the hut. Had he expected someone to clean them up? It didn't look like anyone had been back since they'd discovered it. What are we doing here? Rich asked, not sure he liked where this was going. It wasn't any camper who was following us, it was whoever lives there. He pointed at the waterfall with the Nosler. What? Rich couldn't believe what Max thought. You think there's someone living there and they were following you? You know how? No. He shook his head, but at the same time, he knew exactly what Max had experienced, and it had led him here as well. The wild man in the woods. Rich, I never experienced anything like the sensation I felt when that thing was following us. Yes, thing. The hairs on my arms were standing up. He held his arms out, like they are now. Branches snapped off to the left. Both men turned. Rich saw nothing. Was that a man moving through the woods? His heart kicked. It's him, the man in the woods. Did you see that? Max's voice was filled with excitement. Come on! Max rushed back to where the two trails met, and then off the trail to pursue the shadow. Rich trembled with anticipation before chasing after Max, and whatever he thought he saw. He only caught a glimpse of a tall, bulky biped shape that had to be a man, though his first impression was of something much larger. Way over 6 feet, closer to 7. His eyes must have tricked him. What did it look like to you? Max hurried through the trees. I don't know. He was tall and dark. The ground sloped down and away from the trail into an endless forest, thick with trees and random boulders. Max ran fast through the heavily wooded area, heedless of decaying branches, tree roots, or rocks. Rich followed as best he could, jumping over roots and fallen tree limbs, careful not to step wrong or he'd twist his ankle or worse. Max turned to the right and kept going. Do you see him? Rich asked. It had to be the survivalist in some kind of camouflage outfit. The man, the gas station attendant, saw that maybe it wasn't a man at all, but some kind of creature. I don't think so. I'm not sure. I thought he went this way. Ahead in the woods, a liquid shadow slipped through the branches and pines, the oaks and maples. Of course he did, Rich thought. This was his home, and he knew every tree, every place to step to move as fast as possible. Rich lost his bearings, and he hoped Max had a compass because he left his in the cabin. I see him, Max shouted. What's he? Rich's foot caught on a root that sent him sprawling. He hit the ground hard and somehow managed to hold on to the Remington. Max was several yards to his right behind a tree, breathing hard. The survivalist stood about 50 feet in front of them, nothing but a shadow among the trees. The air reeked of compost and skunk. It came from the man who probably wanted to smell bad to keep people away from him. I was going to read a little further. There! Rich whispered, loud as he could, and pointed where Rich stared. I see him. He's tall. Rich's heart beat fast in his chest. Adrenaline ran through him, keeping him ready to fight or fly, depending on what the guy did. He trembled as he lay on the ground. Judging by the trees, the man was taller than anyone he'd seen, close to, if not over 7 feet. Must be that survivalist, Max said between gasps of breath. Are you all right? Rich kept his eyes on the man, who couldn't be a man, but had to be because there was no other explanation that made sense. Rich admired the thing. It had no responsibilities, no job, no house to maintain. Maybe it had a family, but it had no bills or anything. It could go wherever it wanted and do whatever it chose without needing permission or making sure society was okay with his plans. It was free of all the BS humans were chained to. You lucky son of a bee. He was certain it was intelligent and lived by more than simple instinct. He doubted he could give up his life to live in the wild. Just need to catch my breath, Max, beast. What should we do? Rich wasn't sure if the man saw either one of them. He watched the guy carefully. He wouldn't shoot him, better to talk first and try to come to an amenable agreement. You go your way, we'll go ours. Shooting him was out of the question. I'm gonna stop there. Thank you.